Alright, so you guys ready?
Yep.
Yeah.
Alright, starting in 3, 2, 1, go.
Probably pause the stream. Oh.
How about opacity's bad? Turn it off.
Oh, I did, so it's good. I'm gonna take this little bit on Frigate here to kind of explain what this TAS is and like how long I've been working on it. Kind of 100% is defined by just picking up every single item in the game. The percent counter tracks what you pick up, and that includes just the missiles, all the major upgrades, and energy tanks in the game. And the, what is it, 13 artifacts? DF?
Huh? What?
Is it
Oh,
13 or 14 artifacts?
12 artifacts.
12, okay, I was off. This task has been a work in progress for the last 2.5 years. I started it just after I finished my previous LOTAD, and that finished it with a 1 hour 4 minutes. That was just like a learning task, pretty much. This is much better, and I'm much more proud of this. To start,
the
go
L and R broken. The L and R button are pretty broken.
yeah.
Edzan can
in this
probably
game,
explain it.
there's no sideways speed cap, so you're gonna see me moving kind of sideways a lot, and that's just a really quick and easy way to get speed.
You task GameCube by using an emulator called Dolphin, I believe.
Yeah, this was done on Dolphin 4.0, version 4222. It was the first version of Dolphin that emulated the loads for this game properly and allowed for no desyncing, or minimal desyncing. It still desyncs quite a lot. In fact, this TAS isn't even viable to submit to TAS videos because the whole TAS will never like replay in one sitting. It won't work that way. I had to record this in little segments.
Testing on Dolphin's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's a good emulator. It's just with TASing tools, it's not very suited for that. This TAS was done frame by frame. That's how I did it.
Oh, rapid fire missiles, you just hold it up on the C stick and you just press Y. Because when you hold up it, on the C stick there's beams there, and it will try to switch to power, but it's already equipped, so it just cancels the missile thingy, and you can just keep firing missiles rapidly.
The specs of the computer that I tasked this on, it's a i7 4790K and a GTX 1060.
So that out of bounds is a little weird. I won't go into specifically how that works, but when you like roll into collision or morph into collision, the game will reposition you based on what's around you, and there's like a little piece of collision out of bounds there that puts you out when you morph into that corner.
I said 4790K. That's the i7 I have. So this trigger that I'm about to go and touch, it can be hit from out of bounds, and it allows for this nice little cutscene to play out, where the map is currently on the different room, and none of the outside frigate is loaded visually.
Yeah, out of bounds is really complicated. It's not very easy to describe quickly. It takes a long time to describe.
Yeah, it's It's been described several times, and it's not easy to explain.
It's not like OT where you go out of bounds, you fall and void out, or you land in a room. In this game, it's like... I hate to say it, but every room is inside of a box, and...
Every room is inside of a box. The escape time was 5:06, I think. I don't remember what my escape time was. Or 55, I mean. It's 5:55, that's what it was.
So that's Space Jump.
Yeah, that's space jump.
You're supposed to get it after Boost Ball, but no. We don't want to come back here for Space Jump. You want it now. It saves way too much time.
Yeah, space jump saves time by, like, the first portion of the game was built around only being able to jump once. So you can move faster and much easier reach places that you wouldn't easily be able to early on.
Your single jump also goes slightly higher now.
Yeah, it does.
And with the old dashing thing, this game has no sideways speed cap. And when you dash, you have a lot of speed, then it just, like, you lose it instantly if you stay locked on. But if you release the lock on, you maintain almost all that speed. It depends on when you release and what you're facing. But if you keep facing sideways, you just go really fast.
I tasked this on 4.0 because it was the version of Dolphin I was most comfortable with when I started this. 5.0 was a thing, it's just it didn't have any better syncing issues, and there were issues with save states on 5.0 at the time, so I decided to stick with 4.0 for this one as well. However, all future tasks I do make will be done in 5.0, because I found a good version.
A few rooms ago, the reason why he opened the map is because that room was already loaded, because in that room, all rooms are loading, but if you pause the game with the map, it just opens. Because that door doesn't normally open until every other room is loaded in that room.
Yeah. Well, I will keep updating with Dolphin as they are, as the versions allow me to keep going with it. However, I've currently found a good version of 5.0 to use for tasking, so I'm going to stick with that until I find another good version to progress up to.
For the most part, he scans things fully if he needs to for, like, terminals or switches, but if he's just partially scanning it, it's because he's just trying to dash off of it.
Yeah. I'm just, like, holding onto the target until I'm at a good position to do the dash. It is the same first half, Flamantipator. Also, earlier somebody asked me how many re-records this task was, and it was somewhere around 120,000, I believe. When I released the YouTube video, it's in the description, the exact number of re-records.
Energy low.
Yeah, energy low. Oh no, am I gonna die?
I hope not. So this boss is random. It takes a random amount of time for the eye to pop up. I don't remember the specific intervals, but the first one is shorter than the last three generally.
I do. It's so there's 4 phases for this fight. The first phase, it can take between 8 and 13 seconds, and then the last 3, it's between 15 and 25 seconds. In this particular version of the fight, I managed to get a fight that was it was like 0.1 seconds slower than the fastest possible time of 50 something seconds, I think. And it took me a good 9 hours to task this fight.
Sounds painful.
Oh yeah, it was a lot of work.
This is nowhere near a low tab. This is a TAS.
This is a task, yes. I put a lot of effort into this. And yes, Whiskers, about 6 frames from a perfect fight.
His previous 104 TAS was pretty much a low tab. But
Yeah.
this is a fairly optimized TAS.
It's a lot faster than RTA, that's all I'm gonna say.
We won't say how much until the TAS is over. We don't want to spoil anything here.
Yeah. Well, it was made a lot easier, Whiskers, because I had a timer made for me by Claris, and it showed me how long each phase was going to be at the start of it, so I could just kind of like restart and then do a different input and then keep going until I got a good time. So right now, I'm doing IBBF, which is Ice Beam before Flagra, and getting Ice Beam early, it saves a lot of time and opens up the routing options a lot more because it removes all the backtracking to go and collect Ice Beam once you have the appropriate items required. And again, out of bounds is kind of tricky to talk about, but any out of bounds sections that I do took a lot of time to make and are very complicated.
So the reason why he's like not falling infinitely into the void is because inside of the room, or outside of the room rather, there's something we like to call Aether, which is just some weird property of out of bounds that you just float on. You can only fall through it if you morph or step inside of the room's boundaries.
Yeah, and then you said inside of it, it's like normal physics, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what it is. This task is optimized by in-game time. I figured because I wasn't going to be able to submit this to task videos, that I would just focus on the community standard, which was in-game time. However, in this particular task, it'd be pretty similar optimization for our task timing and in-game time.
So he killed the ghost and used the bomb slot right after to overlap the cutscene. This is just so he's in front of the statue after he uses the bomb slot.
This cannot be submitted to task videos because the entire DTM project will not completely sync. Desyncs are really common in this game because of how it functions. It's pretty rare to be able to play back more than about 2 minutes and not see a desync, unfortunately.
GameCube testing is pretty dumb, so...
No, the loads are actually consistent. It's just after enough time of frame perfect inputs, it just something causes the game to lag and then it falls out of sync.
So now that he has Ice Beam, he's gonna go to Flagra now.
When I say desync, what I mean is Dolphin is trying to play the inputs at a different frame than I told it to play it on. And so it causes the game to do things unintended and doesn't work anymore.
This is not desyncing because he is splicing the segments together.
Yes.
That's unfortunate, but that's the only way he could get it to work.
Yep. This entire task took about 2.5 years to make. So right now, this is another out of bounds. The idea for this was given to me by Hazel back when I was doing my 104 Lotad, and this saves about, I think it was like 15 seconds, maybe more. But essentially, I'm just wall crawling to the Flagra fight, and then I'm just gonna stand in front of the door and let the fight load around me.
So right there, if you press or if you lay a bomb a frame the cutscene starts, it will lay during the cutscene. So he tried to, well, he shot the satellite and laid a bomb as the cutscene started. So now Flagra's a little frick or hecked up.
The frame before the cutscene does.
Yeah.
Yes, Remy, the game gets confused.
No. If you have a power bomb here, you can actually destroy 2 bomb slots at the same time.
You can use a bomb, and then get into the position so that the frame, so you can use the power bomb as well.
A little bit of trivia: Flagra's weak to Wave Blaster for some reason.
I'm not sure what you mean about mapping button presses to the frame counter.
Justin's a busy guy, so I'm not sure if he's just gonna pop in late or not show up.
Yeah, he's busy. Yeah. Unfortunately, so the Flagra fight and Varia suit in general is a pretty consistent, like, it's going to be done early on in every route because there's just no way to really delay it or avoid it without being able to not get it entirely, because one of the artifacts is on a different layer of the same room, and if you activate the layer for the artifact, then Varia suit is gone forever.
It's unfortunate because there's a thing you can do with called reverse boss, or no, you can't do it. You could do it if you could beat Flagra, but if you could fight Ridley without getting Wild, you could do it. But Wild kind of deletes Flagra, so. Yeah.
So in an RTA run of Prime 100%, early Wild is not done. However, because of that BSJ you saw me do back there, early Wild is faster for a TAS, and it saves about 20 seconds if I remember properly. It's about 15 to 20 seconds, and it's nice too because it flows a bit better with the route, in my opinion. You don't have to like climb Sun Tower doing Chozo cleanup later. Yes, BSJ is bomb space jump, and basically that's if you get an instant unmorph in the air, you have a limited amount of time where you can press jump again, and it's within 21 frames of leaving the ground.
It's 21 frames at a 60 FPS game, by the way.
Yes, this game runs at 60 FPS.
Which is a pretty big window.
Mm-hmm. That bunny hop that I did there through the door, it looks so much cooler than it actually like saves time. It saved like 2 frames or something.
How much faster was this to do?
It was a couple seconds faster to do this wall crawl. I don't remember exactly. It was forever ago. And then I have to let this I have to let this cutscene play out almost entirely. It doesn't reposition you until the cutscene's almost over, for some reason.
So for an RTA optimized test, this wouldn't be viable, but since this is optimized for in-game time, this is a little bit faster.
Yep.
And it's cooler.
I actually do have notes about this task. It's just I didn't document very much early on, and so I don't really have a lot of the exact timing situations for most of the early game. Like doing this room backwards was something I timed early on as well, but it was slower. Or yeah, Triclops Pit, that's this room.
Nope, you only need 2 missiles to break that thing to get the artifact.
When I dash, most of the time, anytime I'm doing a dash or any kind of movement, I'm gonna have over 30 speed. And for reference, walking speed is 11. And so anything over 30, a dash gets about 36. And sometimes you'll see 40 to 50 speed, maybe even more in a couple situations. And rolling in Morph Ball is 20 speed, 21 speed. Thanks. Yeah, those bomb jumps were pretty cool.
So normally here you would go get Boost Ball, then go get Space Jump and come back to get Wave Beam, but since he already has it, he's just gonna go get Wave Beam now. And he's gonna let this...
Uh-huh.
And he's gonna let this cutscene play out to save like a second of in-game time.
Yeah, it repositions Samus forward. So at an any percent TAS or run, a trick called Wave Sun would be done, which is where you get Wave Beam and the artifact in this room, Chozo Ice Temple, at the same time. However, at the time of making this, it was 2 seconds slower. However, after finishing this task, a new little time save was found, and it's just under a second faster. So I could have saved 1 second.
It wasn't worth going back to redo it though.
No, when the trick was found, I was almost done with the task, so. Oh, if you want to talk about this being obsolete already, there's even a new route found that's about 5 seconds faster. It was found about a halfway into my task.
These guys just kind of get destroyed.
Yeah, and I managed to hit the Sheegoth in the far corner from the front, which is not easy to do, especially when you're targeting onto it, because the missiles like to home in.
So if you shoot this guy in the neck, it takes a lot of... It's weaker in the neck, so it just takes more damage.
Yep, you can... It takes only 3 missiles to kill it if you shoot in the neck, but it's also only if you bomb the Sheegoth while it's breathing its ice breath. It does... bombs do more damage during that.
There will be no Early Sun Infinite Speed in this run, because he needs to come back to the Shorelands area anyways with Plasma Beam to get the missiles, so... And Super Missiles and Spider Ball.
Yep.
Also, you need Boost Ball to do it, and he doesn't have that yet.
Yeah, there's about like 10 or so people that know the time for this task. There's mic looping. That might be me. So, those enemies those little snow cone enemies in that room. For some reason, when you touch them, they bounce you away with about 60 speed, and I used that to kind of just like bounce across the room. Ah, there he is.
So now we're just
Mic
gonna
check.
go to the.
Hey.
Hello, Justin.
Hello.
So
Okay,
now it's-
Justin, go to that link that I just sent you.
Yeah.
And if you want to watch at the same point we are, let me know once you've loaded, and I'll tell you where to skip into.
IBBF is really convenient because he can go through the pirate labs now and leave through the thermal visor room, because there's an ice door at the bottom there, and he can just go there and go straight to plasma beam after this. Ice beam before Flagra just makes this route flow so well.
Yeah. So, for general, like regular pirate troopers, they take 2 missiles to kill. So what I did there is I just shot 8 missiles in total, and I killed all 4 pirates. You need to kill them in order to progress.
So when he, like, how to describe it, we call them ledge clips. You, like, slide up on the ledge instead of, like, being in the air for a second before you land. If you jump the first time you land on something like that, you can get a lot of extra height on your jump, but only if you, like, clip a ledge.
I'm assuming you can hear us, Justin. So we're at 26 minutes, 27 minutes, right about now.
Alright, I got it, thank you.
Yeah.
So he has to make a little backtrack here to get this missile.
Yeah, well, for some reason they decided to have a super missile item before you. Well, this is after you get super missiles, actually, isn't it? Or is it supposed to be?
It's supposed to be after you get supers.
Yeah.
Well, this room is before super missiles, but you get it after.
I'm pretty sure you're supposed to enter the observatory from the bottom, right?
Yeah, you're supposed to normally.
Yeah, you're supposed to. Yeah. So I did that part right.
No, 100% is just item completion.
It's intended backtrack. Okay, I see. I don't know. I haven't done labs properly in a long time, so.
Oh yeah, there's supposed to be a pirate fight here, but it's like barely not next to the door, so you can just kind of jump over it.
Funny thing about that trigger, it's 3 individual triggers, and it kind of creates a box around the door. And the triggers are very thin, and they left room for you to kind of walk out of the door a bit.
This camera's gonna be like this until he gets to a spot where it fixes the camera, by the way.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I enter a spot to fix the camera in about 30 seconds.
The reason why it's like that is because he was in the tunnel for the artifact earlier, and he left the tunnel without touching the camera fix trigger, so...
Having ice beam here makes the fight very fast.
Yes. So now the camera's fixed because this tunnel resets the camera.
If that tunnel didn't reset the camera, it could have. I could have used that camera for the rest of Phendrana to save maybe a second or two, couple more at most. But it's unfortunate. This game looks so good because it is good. They made a beautiful game in when they released this, and it's held up surprisingly well in my opinion.
This game came out 4 years after OOT.
Yeah, and it looks a lot better. So this is the ice door that DF mentioned earlier that allows for some nice routing. Because normally after you get the thermal visor, you're supposed to climb back up the room and go all the way back through the pirate labs and leave out the front.
So this is the only, like, detour, I guess, in this route. He has to go get Plasma Beam to finish Phendrana.
I did forget that E-Tank because I had to go back through that room again, and it's quicker to get it on the way back.
Yeah.
Also, I don't have Plasma Beam yet, so I can't really get it.
Uh-huh.
So this nice little wall crawl to Plasma Beam, it saved about, like, 5 or so seconds. Actually, it was a bit more than that, I think.
So when you step inside of the room's boundaries, you, like, start falling, and you have a 3-frame window to jump, which is like 1 OOT frame, if you know what OOT is. I'm sure you do.
There has been looking into for an early Plasma Beam. However, it would be slow, just because of all the... It's just out of the way early on. This really isn't as much as a backtrack or a detour as it looks like it is.
Uh-huh. And since the spinners weren't raised, you can just go through the ceiling there and get back out of bounds.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can clip through them at the bottom, but going back out is faster for this.
So for this little mini puzzle to get the E-Tank, you only need to scan the second terminal, and that just opens up the E-Tank. There's no need for the first one.
So now he's gonna head back to Phendrana and get everything there. Since he has everything he needs to collect everything in Phendrana.
Yeah, when I leave Phendrana next, that'll be the last time that you see Phendrana.
This is the last trip to Phendrana, so enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Who needs Spider Ball?
I don't. Yet.
Boost Ball is pretty good.
Yeah, Boost Ball is really actually quite broken in this game. It only takes 0.23 seconds to charge Boost up, and as soon as you use it, you can immediately start charging it again. So every 0.25 seconds, you can use Boost, and every time you use it, so the first time you use Boost, it gives you 35 speed, and then you use it again, it gives you about 50. And then you use it again, it brings you up to like 60, and you can keep adding to it each time you boost. You can see it in this tunnel here.
Yeah, I don't think there's a speed cap for it.
There is not a speed cap for boosting.
It's just the limits of the rooms, like walls and stuff.
Yep. And also with boosting, when you go up a wall, so when you run into a wall, it changes your momentum from horizontal to vertical. And within 3 frames of getting that vertical speed, if you boost, you will go up, and you'll see that a few times. Specifically, right after I leave Phendrana, there's 2 little examples of it.
Oh yeah, that little gel zap you land on, you can sometimes just die to him in like 5 seconds.
Yeah,
With this many energy tanks.
There's no damage cooldown for gel zaps, so you can constantly take damage every frame.
Some nice little damage burst to get that missile.
Yeah, that missile is supposed to require grapple beam, if I remember right.
And another damage burst to get the gravity suit.
Yeah.
So this is the best suit in the game objectively.
Yeah, it requires plasma and grapple beam. for that missile, and I didn't use either. So now that I have gravity suit, physics in the water are no longer affected by water. At least not completely. There is like a tiny bit of difference when you're underwater, but it's nothing really noticeable.
So now he's gonna be piecing out of Phendrana and he's gonna go fight Thardus.
Yep. On the way to Thardus, I do need to get a power bomb because that saves too much time to avoid. I collect it in this room. You'll see me kind of like stand still for a small section, holding charge beam, and that's just getting the power bomb to me.
Right here.
Yeah.
It works out that he had to wait so he could aim down and lock onto the pirate guy.
Yep. And it saved more time than I actually like lost, I guess you could say, by standing there for a second.
Normally you need grapple beam to get this missile, but he's not gonna. He doesn't have it, so dash.
Yeah.
Thardus is stupid.
So Thardus is supposed to... You're not supposed to have Plasma Beam at Thardus, and Plasma has a lot of damage, but I'm not even going to use Plasma. I'm just going to use missiles. And rapid firing missiles does a lot of damage, and each missile does 30 damage, and you can fire one every, I think it was 16 frames, 17 frames, so every quarter second basically.
In a regular run, you would use Plasma Beam here just because this would be too hard to pull off.
Yeah. One fully charged plasma shot and one missile destroys one rock on Thardus.
Oh, if you pull out the scan visor after using the super missile, you cancel the cooldown of firing it, so you can fire a little bit sooner afterwards.
So usually in a Thardus fight, Thardus usually gets a chance to move around the room just a little bit. However, in this fight, Thardus only made like one little step. I believe this was 1 minute and 15-second fight.
It's like 20 or 30 seconds faster than a Plasma Beam fight on console.
Yeah, at least. Because it was 15 seconds faster than the one I got in my 104. Thank you.
Yeah, he only held a Spider Ball for like a few frames there.
Mm-hmm. It was like 5 or so. I don't remember exactly.
So now it's going back to the front of Phendrana to finish it up.
The way Dolphin handles lag frames, it just completely drops them entirely.
He had to wait for the room to load there, so he just took the time to dash off that guy.
Yeah.
You need Spider Ball for one thing, I think, and it's the missile in this room.
Yeah, this missile, I don't think you can like have the room load around you. But that's pretty much it.
There is another missile here that requires it, or normally requires it. You can avoid using it, but it's just slower because it requires a precise bomb jump, so... And it's in this room here. But, you know, it's just gonna be Spider Ball because it's faster.
Yeah. So, dashing in front of that little opening there, like I did, is not easy, and I'm pretty sure nobody would ever be able to do it in a RTA setting.
I mean, Gravity Suit is the best suit in this game, but Light Suit is the best in the trilogy. Man, he didn't hit that at all, but it broke. It has a really good hitbox.
I did not hit it at all. Also, there's a trigger that's supposed to put you in the cutscene and like reposition you. However, I avoided that because it was quicker to just be just outside of it and then morph into it, like morph and then kind of get into where I need to be instead.
Little bamboo airplane there.
So a little interesting thing about this room, doing what I did to climb the room, was actually slower. Like riding the bamboo was slower than jumping up the room. However, it allowed me to get another damage boost to fly towards the artifact area, and that saves time.
So it was a net gain.
Yeah, it was like a net gain, slower in one part, way faster in another.
Goodbye, Phendrana.
Yeah, about to leave Phendrana for good. So earlier I mentioned boosting up walls, and I'm about to do that twice in this room. These two in particular are very hard to get, and you can try to go for them if you're doing a run, but there's not any consistency to them at all. You can see that there, yeah.
Boosting up walls is pretty stupid. On some walls it's really easy, but on certain collision it's like really hard, like there.
In general, it's like three frames to boost once you go up a wall. However, it just depends on how much speed you have going into the wall. I mean, it can be anywhere from 3 to 15 frames.
This is also the last time he's going to be in Magmore, I believe.
I do plan on eventually working on a TAS for Echoes. I'm not going to commit to anything. Just depends on what I feel like doing when I get around and starting another full game TAS. I don't run Echoes at all, though. However, DF does.
Hi.
He has the any percent record.
And 100%.
Yeah, and 100%. I forgot about that.
Right, Root Cave is a bad room.
Well, yeah, it is. Yeah, Echoes is it's not exactly harder than Prime 1. It's just it's a lot different in its movement style, which makes it trickier to maneuver.
It has harder tricks, but
Yeah.
the movement is easier to learn.
Yes. So in this game, you can get something called a ledge clip, and that's when you kind of hit the collision at just the right position, and so the game like snaps you onto the standable collision. But for the first frame you're standing, you keep all of your vertical momentum. So what I did in Root Cave was I got a ledge clip with the maximum vertical momentum, which then made my jump go a lot higher than it's supposed to, and that allowed me to get onto the invisible platforms higher up in the room.
I'm pretty sure Varia skip is possible on GameCube now, Aaron. For low percent, anyways. Using the Mines elevator out of bounds thingy. I think Hazel got that to work.
It's TAS only.
Yes. 20% on Wii and GameCube is TAS only, and they're
Very
both done
TAS only.
and they're both done completely differently. You don't need to
So-
shoot these things.
Yeah, normally you're supposed to shoot these with super missiles. So you're supposed to shoot, what is it, 8 super missiles or 12?
It's 3 missile per block
Well,
on normal mode.
Yeah, but generally they intend for you to use super missiles.
Yeah. On normal mode. On hard mode, it takes 6 missiles.
I see. I always thought they intended for supers.
Oh yeah, speaking of difficulty, this is done on normal mode just because it's faster. Hard mode doesn't really change anything other than make the run longer.
I am thinking about it, Tom. %, would be cool, but it's a lot of work to do a full game task, especially of this game.
So there's the whole 2D more puzzle there. You just skipped.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of the collision kind of just sticks out, and I was able to land on it just barely, and then stay there and skip the puzzle.
You can skip a lot of morph ball sections by just standing on collision.
Yeah.
You can stand on, like, a lot of things in this game. No one knows how long a 20% run takes. We just know it's possible.
Or Hive Mecha.
Yeah, poor Hive Mecha. Never gets an appearance.
This
So
is
these
really
jumps-
sick.
Yeah, those bomb jumps I did, they are TAS only. I will go out and say that. There's not many things I will say are TAS only for this game, but that's one of them. Also, just back there was where I would have gone to get the Artifact of Wild, which I did early, just after the Flagra fight.
Actually, I my Wii run skip Hive Mecha. Yes, that's how low percent works. If you beat the game with a lower percent than the fastest time with a higher percent, then that's automatically the best low percent run, because you beat it with less items.
Yeah. So right now I'm doing a short little wall crawl to just kind of go straight to the room that I want to. And instead of going in like a U shape, I'll just be going in like a straight line pretty much.
The whole wall crawl is meant to skip this fight here, which he just rolls out of the room.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot I got that instant morph. I think that was one of the ones I got by accident.
Sorry, my dogs get a little excited when someone comes home.
That's fine. The chat seemed to love it anyways, so. So pretty much this whole section is just cleaning up the Chozo ruins. It's nice though because I have like everything required to just do it in one straight line. Just kind of sweep through the whole place.
And a 100% run, this is actually my favorite part to do. I like Chozo cleanup a lot.
It is fun. It's just kind of relaxing after like all the stressful parts. Of the TAS, I would say the hardest segment, it would probably be the end game.
Frigate.
So right there, if you like mash R on spider tracks instead of just continually holding it, you actually move slightly faster on spider tracks.
Yeah, that works because when you press R to go onto a spider track, it snaps you towards it and it gives you like 16 speed. But then once you're moving along the track, it slows you down to about 14. So if you just keep releasing and letting go, it'll just keep snapping you back to 16 and keep you moving fast.
I don't know what the RTA for the 100% record is, but I know that the in-game time for it's 110. Very, very low. 110.
Yeah.
Almost
Justin.
109, unfortunately. So close to 109.
It's painful.
Yeah, you don't need Spider Ball here. Well, it's faster here, but you can actually get this without Spider Ball.
I actually didn't think about even trying that, honestly. It probably wouldn't have been faster.
Yeah, you have to do a bomb jump. Also, that boosting was like whack.
Yeah.
So you don't need to do this puzzle either. You can just kind of jump in the hole here.
Yeah, there's a whole long puzzle where you need to use like supers and then scan something and then boost up the half pipe a lot. And spider ball around the room. But that's really slow.
Fun fact: there's actually a little morph tunnel in this room that acts as a shortcut, but it's slower.
Yeah, that's true. Because you hit the loading trigger a lot slower. So it is possible to get this artifact early. However, it's really, really inconsistent and TAS only. And,
Well, this is a TAS.
well, also, I don't think it would even save time 100% due to the fact just that I'm coming back through the room anyways.
So, in current runs of 100%, you don't go this way right away. You would go to the right and do the Sunken Frigate first, but this is actually a pretty recent route change to do mines before Frigate.
Yep, yeah, it's doing the frigate in reverse. It saves about like 50 seconds for RTA. In the TAS, I believe I saved like a minute 30 over my 104.
The big reason why it saves so much time is because when you get the Talon or the ship a little bit faster, and you don't have to do the puzzles in the frigate.
Yeah, those puzzles are really slow. And it also saves a lot of RTA as well, because it skips all those cutscenes.
Again, who needs Spider Ball?
Who needs Spider Ball?
Another instance of laying a bomb/power bomb the frame before a cutscene starts, and you can blow it up during that cutscene. It saves a couple seconds.
Yeah, explosive visor. So for the rest of the run, what?
That guy's dead.
Oh yeah, he's very dead. After I collect the main power bombs, my power bomb count, it's very important to have enough power bombs. Otherwise, there's a few things, like you can just get stuck in Phazon Mines. The minimum after the Omega Pirate fight is 5 power bombs.
Yes.
And, well, you'll see what I have when I get there.
In any percent, your power bomb count isn't as important. I think you need 1 after a Mega Pirate.
Yeah, just 1 for the warrior artifact.
But in Hundo, you need 5 because there's so many things you need to do with power bombs.
There's 2 items you need to get, and there's the rubble you need to clear, and then there's the artifact.
It's a Phazon Mines. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
So
Phazon.
this- Go ahead.
You.
So this room has a pirate fight usually, but you just jump up the side of the room and skip the whole trigger.
And I'm going to be doing Phazon Mines is all done in 1 trip, which is really nice and convenient and fast. It's kind of a big loop or a big circle, honestly.
Yeah, he came in through the front and he's gonna leave through this room. And he's scanning this barrier because this is where he's leaving from.
Also, I don't know if there's going to be any more instances of this, or actually there will be 1 more at least. If you pull out the scan visor, like the first frame after a cutscene ends, when you go to shoot your beam next, it'll instantly close the scan visor and shoot your beam instantly. It's useful at a couple points to quickly open doors or something after a dash.
So basically, this route revolves around 1 trip mines, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which is why you want to get Ice Beam before Flagra, so you can therefore do Phendrana in pretty much 1 trip, aside from, having to go get Plasma Beam. So then you can get X-Ray and stuff before mines, and yeah, now you can do it in 1 trip.
So I'm pretty sure you can actually skip this fight from the way I entered, but it would be like a TAS only thing. And if this were to be optimized by TAS timing, that would definitely be attempted to be done.
So the gas isn't actually going to turn off here. I think it's because he scanned the thing too quickly.
Yeah, I think so. I also laid the power bomb like before the cutscene, so that had to do with it too. It's not TAS only? Okay, I wasn't sure, but that's good to know that you can skip it. Alright, cool.
So there, he hit the pirate fight trigger while he was outside of the room. So the elite pirate would come out earlier, and as a result, he would be able to be damaged earlier.
Yeah.
And with the elite pirate AI, if you start the fight towards their side, they will be constantly trying to look at you, and they will always be looking or trying to look at you until you get in front of them, so you can go around them and prevent them from ever attacking.
So the power bomb maze, there are 300 different power bomb mazes, ranging from 15 to 55 different squares that you have to go through. This was a 15 square. I'm pretty sure it was the fastest 15 square, or there's 2 that are fastest. And there is a way to skip the power bomb maze, but that's slower by about 1 second. Unfortunately, it would have been pretty cool to demonstrate. So there was another damage boost where I had 65 speed, I believe. It was 65 or 70 speed. And just damage boosted me into the cutscene.
Yep, he has all the power bombs in the game now.
Yes, I do. Also, my power bomb count from now till leaving mines is very important.
He can save 1 here by doing that ridiculous movement that you can't really do on console.
You can do that in console.
Oh, well, I'm stupid.
Yeah, I have a video. It is stupid, but I have a video of it being done. So right now I have 4 power bombs, And as I said earlier, at minimum I need 5 leaving Omega Pirate. However, since this is a TAS, I can manipulate the drops that I want whenever I'm able to quickest get them, which is going to be done.
So, in any percent run, you would go out of bounds using that little glider over there, but it's a little bit slower in a 100% because you can do it inbounds with the amount of energy tanks you have.
It's only slower than inbounds because I had to get the missile before the room, which caused me to miss the cycle. So I had to wait for a whole another cycle, which takes about 15 seconds.
On console, the best you can do with this, I believe, is 11 energy tanks.
Yeah,
but
11.
I think,
And this does it in 9. Or at least it could have.
and it's like because of better boosting and being able to boost up the walls consistently.
I'm so happy with this room. The boosting that I got was nice. So in a normal RTA run of this category, this is one of the only points in the run where it's actually really scary. You can almost die. Everywhere else, you have lots of energy tanks, and it's pretty easy to just avoid damage. However, this fight can easily go downhill pretty quickly.
Oh, that powerbomb right there was to skip the animation of him going invisible, and it also prevents the space pirates from coming down.
So what I'm doing here is killing a Mega Pirate in only 2 pools instead of like the 3 that are done in RTA runs.
Collision.
And that requires doing a frame-perfect shot into the Omega Pirate the frame before the damage is capped, because every pool there's like a capped amount of damage you can do.
Yeah, the 2-pool strat is TAS only. On Wii, it's really easy to do a 2-pool with super missiles because of the easy mode, but on regular GameCube run, you would do 3 pulls.
So here's going to be the last example, I believe, of pulling the scan visor out the frame after a cutscene ends. And I use it to, at the top of this room, I think, to shoot the door, or just to get the plasma beam out, I guess. But as you saw, I pressed A and it immediately shot the plasma beam, instead of like waiting to close the scan visor first.
This room is really good, don't blink.
So, as I also said earlier, 5 power bombs is the minimum. However, I left the Mega Pirate fight with 1. I picked up 2 just there, so I have 1 left at the moment. But I still need to get 2 more in order to actually finish the Phazon Mines.
Yeah, you can just jump over the trigger on the way out.
I'm really happy everybody loved that room. So, for anybody who didn't know, Impact Crater is just outside the Phazon Mines. Shoutouts to Kirby.
So he's gonna be finishing up the rest of the mines now. The TAS is almost over, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I actually have to climb this room like you would in any percent run, because those little spinning things stop me from hitting the load trigger for this next room, and this room takes a long time to load.
In this run, you get Ice Beam right after Morph Ball bombs.
That's a good question, Whiskers. My answer for that is TAS. So as I said, I needed 2 power bombs more, and I manipulated to get 2 power bomb drops from the 2 pirates in this room. So as of right now, I have all the power bombs needed to complete the Phazon Mines.
There's an in-game time saver you can do here to pick up the artifact, and I told like Edzan right after he finished, so yeah. But if you scan the thing to lower the platforms there while you're waiting for the artifact, save like 2 seconds of in-game time.
Yeah, and shout outs to Tom Lube, because he's been running Prime since he was 7.
He's now 10 years old.
Pretty much, almost every area has been completed so far. Phazon Mines is like 99% done.
Yeah, and then after Phazon Mines, it's just the town overworld, and then the end of the game.
Yep. Everything is done pretty much except for the Sunken Frigate.
So I did kind of some like awkward looking movement at the start of this fight. That was to manipulate the wave trooper that was around the corner to walk towards me, so I could actually hit it and finish the fight.
Casually, I would say this game is probably around 15 hours of playtime.
Yeah, sounds about right.
For like an any percent playthrough.
Alright, well that's Phazon Mines done. Never see that place again. So now I'm going to be heading to the Sunken Frigate and doing that backwards, which is pretty cool and it's pretty fast. In the Sunken Frigate, there's what, 2 energy tanks and 2 missiles, or 1 missile?
There's 1 missile and 2 E-tanks.
Yeah, okay, 1 missile, 2 E-tanks.
So since he's coming through this backwards, he doesn't actually have to do any of these puzzles because he's going through the doors that normally need to be powered from reverse.
Yeah, because there's what, 3 different wave beam puzzles throughout Sunken Frigate?
Mm-hmm.
Or something like that, 4. And they're pretty slow.
And the reason why this route change is pretty recent is because I don't remember how long ago it was. I think it was about a year or 2 ago. There's a way found to get past the big door at the start of this without, or from out of bounds, because that was what was preventing this. Because you can't go through that door from reverse.
What you're actually going to see right up here is the short little wall crawl to skip the door. Don't look away, it's very fast.
So he needs to shoot this thing from out of bounds to power the door. That's the only way he can go through this.
Yeah, because that's a powered door, unfortunately.
Powered from both sides. Alright, so he only has to pick up 2 more missile expansions and he will have 100%. Well, no,
yeah,
the Artifact Truth, actually, but...
That secret world that I did actually...
Actually, 3 more missiles, my bad.
It can also be done on the frigate itself, like while it's still in space.
I forgot about this one.
Yeah, so the last missile is just here in the landing site, and then there's the Artifact of Truth, and that'll be 100%.
In a console run, you would use the ship here to refill, but it's a TAS, he doesn't need to.
Yeah, 78 missiles is plenty for the end of the game, and we don't need any power bombs to beat Essence or Exo.
Shoutouts to Aaron99. He watches hockey and he's a Leafs fan, and this is the year, or the last year they won a cup.
We are at 100% now. So the Ridley fight, there's two phases. There's the air phase and the ground phase. The air phase is weak to boost ball, and boost ball does what 50,000 damage per frame.
50,000.
Yeah, and Ridley only has 2,500 health, so that just brought Ridley to the ground phase. Unfortunately, Ridley's ground phase is immune to boost ball. Otherwise, the fight would end instantly.
Also, normally Ridley flies around the room, but if you shoot him on a very specific frame, you can skip him doing that, and he's dead.
Yeah, I did. It's called flyby skip, and I actually managed to get it on the same frame that I did my last hit on Ridley, because I snuck in a missile, and the missile and plasma beam hit Ridley at the same time.
That's pretty much the best you're gonna see Ridley done ever.
Yeah, that was actually even faster than the any percent TAS did Ridley.
What was it,
By
like
about
8 seconds?
Yeah, it was about 8 seconds faster.
Is there a name for this Metroid coming up, or is it just idiot?
It's an idiot.
Okay.
He's not interested in Samus at all.
Alright, so this Metroid is named Idiot. He's gonna help Samus out. But he's stupid.
Yeah, he's really stupid. So this trick here is called Exo Skip. And it was found by, what's his name? GD Vertigo?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was found by Vertigo, and this skips the Exo fight entirely and allows just wall crawling around. It saves a minute and 40 seconds, I believe, I want to say.
It's a lot of time. This fight takes forever.
Yeah, it saves a bit less than 100%, but it still saves plenty of time to be worth it. And as you can see, it's really fast because I'm already at Essence.
It works. I think it's sort of similar to the Frigate out of bounds where it repositions you.
It is, yes.
But
It
doesn't
repositions
use-
you and just positions you at a hole.
Yeah, it doesn't use collision though. It's like the Metroid that blops you out.
Yep, because there's a small little hole in the collision, like just in between the door and the room. Also, it's not really noticeable there, but I did a little time save by jumping at the right time. I was informed about it from T3, and it just skipped a little waiting animation during the Essence fight. Saves about 4 seconds.
So what he's doing right now is he's interrupting Essence's attacks by shooting Phazon at her as she does it, and that cancels her attacks and it makes her like holes faster.
Yeah. If you cancel 14 of her animations, the next pool will begin.
And right now he's stepping in and out of the pool repeatedly because it does not drain the Phazon in the pool if you step out of it immediately as you use it.
And that is it.
TAS.
TAS is done. Now the in-game time displays after the credits, which will be in about a minute or so. It takes for the credits to roll.
All right, GG.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
I want to see estimates for the in-game time in chat, and we'll see.
Thankfully, you lose the worst suit in the game now.
Anybody who knows the in-game time cannot say it in chat. Only estimates. I see a lot of different times going through chat, and some people have gotten it right. I will say that.
I hope you enjoy the TAS. It's really good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this. This was really great to watch. How did you enjoy it, chat?
Oh yeah, JRP actually did correctly predict it at GDQ. Like a day before I even showed it to everybody, he got the time right. Yeah, this was the first task I ever actually completed, and I do want to make more. It was fun.
Echoes 90%. I mean, what?
Perhaps.
So, you can make the credits go faster,
But I didn't.
if you are a good person and you get a good PB, you let them play out. If you get a bad run, then just skip them, but if you get a good run, let them play out.
So I forgot to do this when it happened in the task, but shoutouts to Hazel for tassing 2 X inputs in this task. She did the X input for the morph wall in Chozo Ice Temple and the instant morph just after it. Well, thank you, everybody. Nice.
Yeah, it
Just
seems like
so-
everyone liked this. This was really good.
Yeah,
Just-
I'm happy.
Just for reference again, the in-game time record on console is 110.
Yes, 1 hour 10 minutes.
In-game time, yeah.
Is the record for. Okay. Justin has the record actually. Thank you, Justin, for posting my stuff.
No problem.
Yeah, you guys should go follow Edzan.
Edzan cheats, but he's cool.
If anybody is interested at all in like running Metroid Prime themselves, there is a Discord if somebody wants to link it, and you can. There's resources in there for. There's like a beginner tutorial for any percent, and the tutorial is really well made. It's a little old, but it still has like good enough strats to start with. And then there's plenty of people if you ask in like some channels. People are willing to help. I myself am always willing to help somebody learn this game. So you can just feel free to reach out to me if you want to learn. I'll help you out.
I'm willing to help people who want to learn Prime 2. Echoes Prime 2. That 2 as in number 2.
And yeah, Mr. Whiskers in chat. He's also always willing to help people learn this game.
Shoutouts to Wickers.
The Discord it's a Discord for all 3 Prime games.
I will not help anyone with corruption. My advice is to not play it.
Alright, so the in-game time is right here, about to play. Some people guessed it properly.
Oh man, 49.
Yeah.
That's like faster than the RTA any percent time too, right?
It
Yep.
is, yes. The any percent record single segment is 51. Segmented is 49.
Yeah, so that's crazy.
Yeah. So I,
Both by Justin, by the way.
yes.
Dang, alright, that was pretty cool. Thanks for making this TAS.
Yeah, and thank you for sharing it.
Yeah, glad to show it off.